Hold on, guys, just sending the messages through. We're almost set and ready to go, so give me a quick second, ladies and gentlemen. Just making sure that we are all set, we're all live, you guys can hear me well. Forza Ferrari in the chat, how you doing? Welcome, my man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just give me a quick second. Let's just see. How you doing, Forza? You having a good one? Hopefully everyone is having a beautiful, beautiful day. I've been, UFR won't start the next season until F1 22. Yeah, I know. You're good. Love to hear, my man. Love to hear. Yeah, sorry I missed out on the final race of the season. Just had a massive banging headache. To be honest with you, just a massive banging headache, and I just had to put my eyes and my face away from all of the screens, even my phone. So I couldn't message anyone. Like I was just having, like it was like throbbing, but. Yeah, we find ourselves here at Saudi Arabia, and I think we're set and ready to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome back to Smoking Pirelli's Racing Club here for the Tuesday League Season 4, Round 8 at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I am your commentator, Justin, also known as Just Gaming, whichever one you beautiful people back at home prefer. And we're here for a goodie, a short qualifying with 25 laps around Saudi Arabia, a very new circuit added to the F1 calendar, as the first ever Grand Prix here at Jeddah was actually last season, where we saw a close dispute between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen before at the end of the season, actually getting pretty close to Abu Dhabi, which made the headline of who will be crowned champion. Of course, we saw that Max Verstappen came away with the trophy. We also actually had the second race, IRL, actually at Jeddah earlier on in the season. So instead of being at the end of the season in 2021, for 2022 it was at near the beginning of the season, as we saw Charles Leclerc and Verstappen actually battle it out between them once again as well. And if I do remember correctly, Max Verstappen actually being the one to come out on top. So a little bit of a different one here, of course, ladies and gentlemen. 25 laps around a 6-kilometer street circuit. Well, not street circuit, 6-kilometer circuit, where we're looking around a race distance of 154 kilometers, where the lap record, of course, was set by Lewis Hamilton back in 2021 with a 130.734. And just to give you guys a brief description of where we are, so here in Saudi Arabia at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. The Jeddah Corniche circuit is you won't believe you won't be surprised to hear a temporary street circuit located on the Corniche, a 30-kilometer coastal resort area of the ancient Saudi Arabian city of Jeddah, designed by the Tilk company in conjunction with Formula One's own motorsports team as well, who used Google Earth for their initial investigations into potential layouts, where F1's Ross Brawn said of the track, what we want to see is a race circuit. We don't want Mickey Mouse circuits. We don't want these old classic street circuits with 90-degree turns. We want fast sweeping circuits, circuits which are going to challenge the drivers, and they are going to love it. And so far it was loved not only by some of the drivers, but also to the fans as well, as the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix actually had a very good turnout, very good attendance, and a lot of positive feedback due to the layout of the circuit. Of course, watching it is a bit different than what these drivers will be experiencing in the actual seats themselves. So it's going to be a little bit different for everyone out there. So let's just check, actually. Let's just check to see how everyone is doing. Looks like we actually have quite a bit of people coming in. Forza Ferrari said, is there room for a guest if they allow it? I mean, I guess as in you want to do co-commentary? Because to be honest with you, I'd be totally down to have you in the comms box, Forza. We're just gonna have to, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't mind at all, since you're not gonna be racing. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't mind at all, to be honest with you. But let's see a short qualifying here at Saudi Arabia once again, ladies and gentlemen. And as we wait for the drivers to load in, we're actually going to take a quick rundown of the drivers' standings as well. So, if you guys don't remember, last week we were actually at Singapore for round 7, where we saw Captain Jack, also known as RL Drunk Pirate in the McLaren, bringing home the race win on 50 points. Kobe Leo Lee in the Haas actually finished in second. Has actually now been left the league due to one of the drivers, part of his crew actually being kicked off. I don't entirely know of the situation, nor do I need to know, but Kobe did finish in second in that race. Then we see Dylan and Natalie Packers finishing off in third and fourth. Very well done to them. Where we also see Spillage finish in the top 5 with Sharpie, Liam, El Patrone, Panda, and Jonesy finishing in the top 10, with Gronfeld finishing in 11th place. I believe, yeah, crashing out near the end of the race. Well, actually, did he crash out at the end of the race? I'm not entirely too sure. I might have to fact check that in a little bit. But after the race win at Singapore, that's actually going to push Drunk Pirate even further for the Drivers' Championship, as he now leads the way with 296 points. Skills Dan currently in second with 222 points. 2s across the board for Skills Dan, as Sharpie was then moved up to P3. Then after that we have Spillage in P4, Natalie in P5 actually. So actually Spillage and Natalie technically both in P4, as they both have 148 points accordingly. Then we have Liam in the Mercedes in P6 with 127. Had that very unfortunate spin near the end of the race of Singapore, where he actually was in second off of a safety car restart, gave a few laps after, and then spins around on the final lap on the final corner as well. Well, sorry, no, at the on the penultimate lap. So if he didn't spin, he was starting the final lap. So he spun around on that penultimate lap. Very unfortunate for him, but still in P6 in the championship. Very well done for him. And now let's actually see what that means for the constructors actually. So Mercedes actually leads the way with 379 points, with the McLaren in second with 366 points. Then comes the Haas of 343, AlphaTauri in fourth with 297, Aston Martin in fifth with 235, Williams in sixth with 222, Alpine in seventh with 217, Red Bull in eighth with 188, Ferrari in ninth with 151, and then Alfa Romeo getting some crucial points last race in 10th with 83 points. Currently struggling to get into those triple digits, but still a few more races left in the calendar, as we now are going to stay on board with Drunk Pirate, and actually he is going to be giving us a quick rundown of the actual track. So as you get through Sector 1, those sweeping S's, you make your way down towards Sector 2, and you have this long sweeping left-hander right by a little bit of a stadium actually, as you now have a lot of S's, Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, more like the S circuit, as a lot of people actually used to call the Japanese Grand Prix the S circuit, of course, with the Japanese Grand Prix at the Suzuka circuit. In Sector 1 having those quick S's from turns 1 and all the way up towards turn 5. But now here in Jeddah just cranks that to the absolute ultimate, as these challenge these drivers and challenge the cars that they're in. But everyone currently out there on the track except for Natalie Packers actually, as she is going to be staying in the pit lane. Not my social skills are terrible, I meant race and stay out way, but too late. Yeah, no worries my man, no worries. I mean, if you want to join the comms box, please come right forth. I would love to have you in here. But Captain Jack actually sets the standard at 128.980, and I was actually in a practice lobby with some of these drivers actually earlier, as we now see Dusty Fake with the 128.842 for the Aston Martin. But as I was saying, I was actually in. Well, Jonesy improves on that as well. But I was actually in a practice session with Drunk Pirate, Liam, and a few others actually. And the quickest lap time that we actually saw in qualifying was actually a 128.0 by Liam Z, where I actually put it on 128.4 as well as Jonesy. So I think that's the one thing though with me, qualifying pace. It's kind of okay, but when it comes down to the actual race pace, I am absolutely horrific, but I am trying to get back into it. But so far as people cross the line to finish off their laps, as I say that now, Liam, right as I said, a 128.0 cross the line with a 128.1 for Liam, as he now tops the timing charts with an exceptional time there. Going to be very tough to beat. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, as time goes on, as bits of rubber goes out there on the track, gonna make it a little bit more grippy for everyone out there, and could be seeing some 127s, maybe a 127.5 would be a theoretical best, I think. But if I'm gonna be real, I think the best one we might see is gonna be a 127.8, most likely. But yeah, as half of the grid have set their first laps, so far it's still Liam leading the way. We're actually gonna go down with Panda actually, who has a yellow flag up ahead of him in the Williams. Let's see if Panda can get a good line here. It takes a little bit too much of a wide line there, and it looks like he's actually going for a fast one. And he's going to be crossing with a 130.6, but he's going to be starting a new fast lap on his set of softs, and let's see how he does now as they make their way through. Of course, a lot of these drivers will be fighting against the G-forces, fighting against the scenarios and the environment to get it done. But we're actually going to go on Natalie Packers, actually, who is out there on the set of mediums. So, a few drivers out there on the set of mediums. Cameron Poulter, as well as Atmos, Super Saiyan, and Natalie Packers, all on a set of medium set tires. As they will actually be looking at getting a little bit of a more of a moderate race start instead of an aggressive start. But one thing I am seeing now, ladies and gentlemen, look at the time difference from P1 down to P12 is within a second, and that's what I'm talking about. These drivers really know their pace and really give it a tough one for everybody as they make their way through. Still a lot of time in qualifying left, but Natalie Packer is now making her way down towards the final corner for the AlphaTauri. Let's see what the female driver can do as she goes on the throttle, sprints towards the timing line, as she's now going to cross the line with a 130.3 on those set of mediums. I'm going to go enjoy the race. No worries. Hopefully you guys are enjoying qualifying so far, and yeah, but these close set times really get you pumped for the race start as well. Now we're actually seeing Liam go out on the set of mediums actually, so has those currently equipped. We're actually going to go on board with Dylan actually, who's going to be finishing off his lap now on his set of softs. Let's see as we go on board with Dylan what he'll be facing with as he breaks just before the 50-meter mark. He turns around that final corner, sprints towards the timing line as he's going to hug that left side wall, and he's going to go into the top four with a 106 point. Wait, no, sorry, a 106. He was actually off by 6/10, and that brings it to a 128.7. So a very good time there from the Williams driver, an exceptional job. But it's going to be very difficult for a lot of these drivers out here on the track actually, as here at Jeddah is actually around 27 corners on the circuit actually, ladies and gentlemen. In Sector 1, 12 corners are made up, with Sector 2 being actually 9 corners, and then the remaining 6 corners in that final sector. So a lot of these drivers trying to fight against the reaction times, trying to improve on the reaction times, I should actually say, as Drunk Pirate is now improving by 0.2 coming into Sector 3 Only a few more corners left for Drunk Pirate, trying to hold on for that championship lead. We'll be holding on to it if he has a good result here today, and he could be solidifying that championship trophy here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as things are going to continue to kick off. But of course, as we're here for round 8, we actually only have 2 more races left of the season here, ladies and gentlemen, where we have next week on the 7th of June will be at Bahrain, and then ending the season on the 14th of June at Zandvoort, just before the new F1 22 game comes out on July 1st. And please, guys, if you guys are interested in coming into the next season of Smoking Pirellis, please, please, please hit that follow button, as this is where you'll be getting all of the commentary from this season, as well as potentially next season. Is still in the works. But I actually kind of want to go out there on the track, but if things come to worse, I will come into the I will get into the comms box as well. But honestly, guys, good to have every single one of you guys watching from back at home, wherever you guys are. And honestly, really do appreciate the support from every single one of you that it comes in time and time again. But of course, here today, the biggest title isn't actually going to be Smoking Pirellis, as a little bit of a personal talk with you guys. There's actually been a lot of stuff happening in the courtroom with Amber Heard and Captain Jack Sparrow, also known as Johnny Depp, where their allegations have been put through to the jury, and we could be actually hearing a verdict in a few hours time, or if not, it could be tomorrow. We still don't know. I actually have the news up on my phone following the story. But let's see. So Drunk Pirate actually does improve to the top 10, but doesn't look like he's going to be happy with it, as there's a huge crash from what it looks like. We're going to have to go on board with Cameron Poulter, as there's an incident around turn 1 and 2. As you can see, the 2 cars stuck on the left side, 3 cars actually, of Skills Dan Atmos, as well as Panda, who all have taken early leaves from the qualifying due to a collision and due to a massive mechanical failure as well. Very unfortunate to see that from these drivers, as they've been practicing time and time again. To improve on their pace and improve on their consistency out there on the track as well. But so far, actually, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pretty good one all around, as still with the fastest lap since the beginning of qualifying has actually been Liamzy, who actually is holding on to a 128.116 in his Mercedes, as he'll be going back out there on an outlap and hoping to improve on that, probably get into the 127s. We're gonna have to wait and see on that. But if you guys are interested in watching the replays back of this season and a few seasons prior, we actually have a Smoking Pirellis Facebook page. So if you guys are interested in Smoking Pirellis and want to know about updates to it, to the league when it comes down to the standings, if it comes down to announcements, or if you actually just want to see some of the highlights of previous races, just so you guys can get a better understanding of the previous races, of course, and get a little quick highlights, get to see a lot of great battles over the field, please make your way down to Facebook and head on to Smoking Pirellis Racing Club, and please follow the page, and you'll be getting a bunch of notifications. Well, not a bunch of notifications. You'll be notified about a bunch of different events that happened in previous races, different announcements as well. We will be hearing a little bit of the next season's calendar as well, as the new game has a little bit of a few tracks that has actually been leaked. Currently 23 tracks on the field, all of them from this game, of course, for the exception of Sochi at the Russian Grand Prix, where it's actually been changed to the Miami Grand Prix, of course. So 23 on this game, one of them got replaced to the Miami Grand Prix. So good to actually see F1 take the initiative, but very unfortunate in some cases as well, as to be honest with you, none of us wants any of anything that's happening with Russia and Ukraine to continue on. But it looks like it's going to be a little bit of time left in qualifying. A few more drivers out there. Liam is actually improving by a tenth and a half, as he has actually got contact with the wall. I'm not too sure if he's looking at damage on that Mercedes, as he now enters Sector 3. Looks like he's actually doing alright with a purple Sector 2 as well for him. So this could be a very good time from the Mercedes driver, as he was actually opted for a race win back at Singapore. Got unfortunate with the spin, and he's looking for not really vengeance, but he's looking to make a name for himself once again, as he now sprints towards the timing line. Is it going to be a first 127? Yes, it will. Even though he lost a little bit of time in Sector 3, he still crosses the line with a 127.928, and that is going to solidify himself on that front row. We then see Cameron and Sharpie's times in second and third be separated by around 12 thousandths of a second, and Sharpie currently going out there on a new lap. And actually Cameron no, that's not Cameron right behind him. That is actually Lack right behind him. But again guys, so far qualifying only has a few more minutes left, less than 2 minutes left of qualifying, as these drivers will be putting in their last ditch effort. Sharpie currently up by 2 thousandths of a second. He needs to find 10 more thousandths for him to move up into the front row, as we go on board to see what sort of lines this man is taking. And he's doing an exceptional job to carry the momentum into these corners without making contact with the wall as well, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 1 due to an Alfa Romeo moving out of the way. I believe that is Gronfeld. But now Sharpie sprinting down towards the final corner, hugging that left side wall to shorten the distance down, as he will now go wide, break around the 50, and make his way around the final corner. Let's see if Sharpie can improve and make his way onto the front row, potentially even pole position. It's going to be the last ditch effort. He is just going to miss out on pole position by a tenth, but still an exceptional 128.0 for the Aston Martin driver. An amazing job there. Cameron is actually on a roll here, as he's up by just under a tenth coming into Sector 2. So keeping this momentum, let's see if he can make his way back into the front row, and takes a weird corner there and makes contact with the wall. A little bit too much heat on those tires, too much heat into these corners, and that's going to be his qualifying practically over. Now Dusty Fake up by 3 tenths, almost 4 tenths, coming into Sector 3, as he has a little bit of a wobble there coming off of the exit of turn 21 and 22, as he now makes his way towards 24, 25, 26, now towards the final corner of turn 27, where he hits the apex, goes on the throttle, and he's going to make the sprint. Shan has actually crossed the line in for third, fastest of 128.1, and Dusty Fake will be lining up right behind his teammate of Sharpie with a 128.1 as well. Outstanding times here, ladies and gentlemen, all across the board, from first all the way down to P15 is within a second, and currently in P15 is the surprisingly Drivers' Championship leader, and now 16th Drivers' Championship leader of Drunk Pirate, as Lack has made his way into the top 10. And now, as the clock runs out, that is going to be it for qualifying for the time being. A lot of these drivers will be putting in their last ditch effort. We see Jonesy currently up by 2/10 coming into sector 3, so this could actually gain him up into the second row potentially if he bangs out this final sector here as he sprints down towards the final corner for his team of Haas. Let's see if he can get the job done. The Alfa Romeo, beautiful awareness as he moves out of the way. He had Super Saiyan right behind him with 0.003 of a second, but now Jonesy sprints towards the timing line as he will go into that second row of 128.2. No, 28.2. Yeah, 128. Hold on, let me just do this. Give me a sec. My mathematics is screwing me here. Sorry, a 128.154. And honestly, close times all across the board here, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to give us some beautiful anticipation for the race start as Shane has now finished his qualifying, moves into the pit lane, and now that is going to be it. I'm going to see if I can take a quick screenshot, because honestly, those times are extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. But ladies and gentlemen, as we will have a little bit of a break before the race start, no formation lap here in Smoking Pirelli's, just goes straight down to the racing. So as the drivers make their way in, you can see the lineup here and how close those times are across the board. Liam leading the way, the only driver to make it to the 127s with a 127.928. Then Sharpie and Dusty Fake, a good result for the Aston Martin team as they line up in second and third. Then comes Jonesy, Shane, Cameron, Cold Steel, Super Saiyan, Groenfeld, Lack, Zach Johnson, Reloaded, Natalie Packers, Dylan, Scales Dan, Drunk Pirate, Spillage, Atmos, Panda, and Landscape King bringing up the rear. But now with qualifying ended, let's get us to the starting grid for the 5 red lights for the start of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back after the quick commercial break as we have now been ready for the 5 red lights, and here they are as they bright up the dark Saudi Arabian Grand Prix start, and away we go with the beginning of the race. An amazing start there from Liam. Sharpie trying to defend on the inside against Dusty Fake, as Dusty Fake now slots in right behind his teammate. Now we also see Shane and Cameron having themselves a good scrap as all of the drivers make their way through down towards the S's, and it's going to be difficult for a lot of these drivers. Very close quarters in Sector 1. Going to be tough for all of them as Drug Pirate has actually made his way past Spillage, who is actually disconnected and trying to rejoin as he now slots down into last place. Has now made the rejoin. A good time to actually make that rejoin. Now we see Cameron and Jonesy going side to side down towards turn 13, now 14. As they come into Sector 2, Cameron trying to find the best line to try and make the move on Jonesy. Can't really find the gap as this has been one of the greatest starts to Smoking Pirelli's in a long time. All these drivers making their way through now, down towards Sector 3. And you can see Cameron Poulter right on the tail end, going around the outside potentially. He's going to slot right behind again, going to be saving that ERS with a little bit of dust making their way across the track. Cameron now makes the dive on the inside of Jonesy, and Jonesy got too much of that line, too much of that throttle, as he goes into the wall, and the exit will now slot down to P5. We now see Landscape King getting overtaken by Atmos. We also saw Panda, who has actually been overtaken by Spillers, goes into the pit lane. Zach Johnson and Lack having themselves a good battle down in turn 1. We also see Dylan and Reloaded having themselves a good scrap, as Dylan squeezes on the inside of Lack, breaks a little bit earlier to give Lack the move, and an easy overtake there for Lack, as Cameron is now looking to battle out against the Aston Martins, as he makes the unbelievable move on Dusty Fake, and now makes the move on Sharpie. Beautiful overtake there from Cameron, as he is on a roll at the beginning of this race. Gronfeld, look at all these cars making their way through. Beautiful to see. And honestly, a sight that will never be forgotten. And there's Super Saiyan, who has actually missed time the braking zone completely, going into the runoff area, rejoins back up at P6, right ahead of Shane, right behind Sharpie. And Sharpie's losing a lot of pace here, as he's been caught off guard multiple times, now going side to side with Super Saiyan, and that has really messed up his line, as he now slots behind 2 Alfa Romeos as well, losing 3 positions into 2 corners. And now we're going 4 wide here, ladies and gentlemen, as we make our way down towards turn 27. Now 3 wide around the exit, a little bit of a squeeze, 4 wide again, and there goes Lack into the wall. Very, very unfortunate. All of these drivers giving it their all at the beginning of the race, trying to make sure that they can make something happen before it gets even worse. But Sharpie now falls down to P16, and that's going to bring out the virtual safety car, as Lack has retired out on the track. I believe has crashed out trying to get that car spun back around, made contact with the wall. I'm not too sure if that was an intentional DNF. But now with the virtual safety car out, it's going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse game here at Saudi Arabia, ladies and gentlemen, as this is a track that you cannot mistake for anything, as this track will catch kills. This track kills the tires, it kills the cars, and it sometimes even kills the drivers, where it's very physically demanding to try and make their way around the circuit, as we now also see both of the Alfa Romeos getting pretty close out there on the track. Same goes with both of the Alpines out there on the track. Of course, in the real life scene where we saw both of the Alpines have themselves a good scrap, Reloaded actually making his way past Zach Johnson on his set of mediums. So it looks like Zach Johnson is really struggling to find the pace. Season 1's Drivers' Champion here in Smoking Pirellis, as he's struggling to keep up with the pack. Same goes with Drunk Pirate, who is currently leading the Drivers' Championship, was Season's 2 Drivers' Champion as well, as he is really struggling to find the pace here. Atmos going around the outside. Drunken Pirate is going to try and defend on the inside here, as he's going to temporarily hold on to the position. Now back up the field, Dusty Fake makes the dive on the inside of Cameron Poulter, down towards turn 1, now in turn 2 and 3, a little bit of a slippery exit there for Dusty Fake. He's able to manage onto it, and now we'll slot right behind Cameron up towards turn 5 and 6. It just makes things so more difficult for all of these drivers, and let alone when it comes down to trying to get the heat into the tires and not overheat them as well. But it's also when it comes down to actually getting into the zone, trying to keep that reaction times, but also stay within the track limits as well. We could be seeing a lot of time penalties coming down to the end of this race. Now we're seeing Skills, Dan, and Natalie having themselves a good battle around turn 13 at the stadium grandstand. Of course, here at Saudi Arabia, we're actually on the man-made islands, actually, as on Sector 1, technically what you would call the quote-unquote right side of the track. It's actually already part of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We're now in Sector 2 and 3. We're actually currently going over the you would call it the man-made islands, actually, as we now see Natalie make her way past Skills Dan after having that disconnect. Very unfortunate there for Skills Dan, as he now slots down behind Drunk Pirate in P12. Now back up the field, where we have Cameron trying to look on the inside of Dusty Fake. Is he going to be able to make the job done? A little bit of contact there for Jonesy, as he has a little bit of a squabble, hits Super Saiyan on the exit, and Super Saiyan goes really wide there. Now Drunk Pirate and Natalie having themselves a good battle into turn 1 and 2, and Natalie's able to hold on. Now Jonesy is losing a lot of pace here. Looks like he has a little bit of a mishap through these S's. Same goes with Shane, as you just saw, trying to fight against the dirty air and really struggling to keep that foot on the throttle without spinning the car. But honestly, back up the field with Liam, ladies and gentlemen, leading the race now by almost 4 seconds off of second place of Cameron Poulter. And this has been an amazing start for this man now, as Zach Johnson is hit with the first time penalty out there on the track of 3 seconds. Will be having to serve that at the end of the race, and also will be added onto his tally of penalty points on smoking Pirellis. Now we actually go back up with Atmos, who is really right on the tail end of Drunk Pirate. And one thing I am noticing a little bit, actually, ladies and gentlemen, is that with these drivers making their way through, really struggling to hold on to the car, especially with those surprise curbs. Oh, and you can actually see Atmos is looking around the outside. Drac is going to look on the inside here as we go 3 wide into turn 27. And now both Atmos and Drunk Pirate will be having DRS once again. We also see Cameron and Dusty having themselves a good battle for P2. We also see Jonesy, Groenveld, and Super Saiyan having themselves a good battle. Shane right on the tail end. Natalie trying to hold on the inside. Could be giving Drunk Pirate the opportunity to go on the switchback. Not too sure if he's going to be going for it just yet, as he now is right behind Natalie, trying to hold on, trying to fight against the dirty air, and trying to get the traction down, keep that car planted, use those front wings, use the rear wing for all of that downforce, use the tires for the grip, and hold on until the end, as Skills Dan has now finally made the rejoin, but very unfortunate of where he is now after that disconnect as well. So far, ladies and gentlemen, we actually see that the bottom, the bottom 6 has actually made their pit stops of Sharpie Panda, Dylan, Dylan, Zach Johnson, Spillage, and Landscape King, who has actually made 2 stops in this race, Landscape. So it's lost quite a bit of pace here. But now, as the intervals are a little bit glitched out, we're now going to go back up to the front here. We'll actually go up to 3rd, actually, as Groenfeld is able to make the move on Dusty Fake. But it could be a short-lived move, as Dusty Fake will now be having DRS himself. And we'll actually go into the pit lane for his pit stop here, ladies and gentlemen. So a little bit of a different strategy for Dusty Fake. Going to be trying to pull the undercut on him now, as he switches on to a new set of mediums. Oh, and I see why he has to get on a new front wing. So front wing damage for the Aston Martin driver, as he now makes the slow exit through. Looks like Jonesy also had himself a little bit of damage, so trying to utilize it and trying to get the undercut potentially on the drivers up ahead. As we also now see Skills Dan trying to make his way past after that disconnect on his old set of mediums, and Dusty Fake able to yield and give it back. But the huge crash there for Dusty Fake, went over the curb a little bit too much there. That's going to bring out the safety car, as the Aston Martin is now parked around turn 7. Very unfortunate there for Dusty Fake. Got a little bit too much of the curb on the exit, had a little bit of wheel spin, and now with that safety car, it's going to be giving those front runners on those set of softs an opportunity to get technically a free pit stop, actually. So amazing stuff there from Liam, who's led the race since the beginning, had pole position. So far, the fastest lap is going to be with Super Saiyan with a 131.066, as he has been really catching up the rear here, as he's up 4 positions at the beginning of this race. Damn, that sucks, says Mick. Very unfortunate there, honestly. Very unfortunate there. Just took a little bit too much of that curb. But it's actually going to be Reloaded, who's actually currently on a old set of mediums, will be now leading the safety car restart here. Sorry, just had to take a little bit of some water. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually the first safety car that we've had. We actually had a virtual with Lack crashing out around the final corner of turn 27, where Dusty Fake has actually just crashed out due to on the pit exit battling out with Scales Dan. Couldn't warm up the tires in time as he makes his way up towards turn 5, and then taking too much of the curve, too much wheel spin, collects the wall on the inside, then collects the wall on the outside. Couldn't stop him from doing that as both of his front wheels got detached from the car as well. But look how beautiful the scenery is here, ladies and gentlemen. The marina, very, very gorgeous, as you can tell. Absolutely beautiful. But you can actually see that a lot of these people are actually really hating this track. As I was listening to them earlier in the practice session, a lot of people saying that this track is actually very difficult to find a way, very difficult to get the traction down. But once you do and you have that consistency, you're going to be leading this race. But of course now, as Reloaded is going into the pit lane here, well, actually hasn't, sorry, I should have said, hasn't gone into the pit lane yet on his old set of mediums. Only 4 drivers still yet to make a pit stop, Reloaded being one of them, of course. Then comes Natalie, Atmos, and Drunk Pirate, and this is exactly what Liam wants. He wants those drivers that haven't made that pit stop to stay out on their old set of mediums, have cars between him and Cameron Poulter, so he can start pulling away once again. Without having any sort of interference of the drivers on the track. But you can see now, as the track gets a little bit darker, the lights start to become a little bit brighter here at Saudi Arabia. As is gonna be a good race so far. It's been an outstanding race as Dylan and Landscape go back into the pit lane here. Not too sure what their plan is, but as it's the safety car, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be right back. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after these short messages. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this after the race, we're just taking a quick commercial break, so sorry for the silence there. But the safety car is now coming in this lap, and Reloaded will be leading the safety car restart for the Alpine. Going to be waiting a little bit for the safety car to come around the final corner, enter that pit lane, and it'll be giving everyone a second chance in this race practically due to the crash of Dusty Fake. Very unfortunate there. But now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back as we now restart the race. Green light will be underway shortly, and they are going now. A good restart there for Reloaded, but Liam saw through it as also Natalie is right on the tail end. Cameron is trying to look on the inside of Atmos down towards turn 1. Liam couldn't make the move done, but it's going to be Cameron to move up into P4. A little bit of contact there, actually, as Lack has the disconnect. Atmos now down to P5. We also see Super Saiyan making his way through. Got a beautiful line there through turn 1, 2, and 3 to get past Gronfeld. We also see Jonesy right on the tail end of Cold Steel, and this is what I'm talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. But barely any room for errors is going to be all down to the drivers, and it's going to get pretty close now as we now go down 3 wide towards turn 13. Super Saiyan really sticking his nose in to hold on to that inside line. Drunk Pirate trying to get the switchback on Gronfeld, can find the space as he's sniffing that diffuser. We also see Reloaded, who has lost the race lead, and Liam has now taken the race lead. And now Cameron is now right in between, like Reloaded is right in between the two provisional race leaders of Liam and Cameron Poulter, as Cameron has now made his way through for the time being. They're still going side to side, and you can see that they're giving it their all down towards turn 27. We also see Natalie trying to go on the inside of Atmos, tries to get the traction. Atmos hits the wall on the exit, and that's going to ensure Natalie P4 at the start of lap 11. Cameron now right on the tail end. Is he going to try and make the move? He's braking a little bit later. He's trying to make the move, but it's going to be Reloaded to hold on down towards turn 2. Now up towards turn 3. Cameron tried to get the switch back, can't really find it. We also see Drunk Pirate actually struggling as he now loses the positions to the Alfa Romeos. And now we're also seeing Super Saiyan, who has lost his front wing completely. As we also see now Zach Johnson and Dylan out of this race, bringing up the safety car once again. So far, hold on, we're actually going to go on board with Dylan as he's now exiting out of the pit lane, is able to move past the safety car, get past the safety car here. Now up ahead, he'll be seeing Zach Johnson and Dylan, who have actually just got the cars cleared off, so we're gonna have to clip that and see exactly what happened there, if we actually caught it on camera. I don't believe we did, but hopefully we'll find out soon for you guys back at home. But very, very unfortunate there, ladies and gentlemen. So unfortunate for the drivers. Gotta say, so far this race has been absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. I'm now trying to read back up on the trial with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. They've actually been streaming. If you guys are interested in looking at it, it's actually on Law and Crime Network on YouTube, where they currently have 440,000 people watching back at home. But so far they're covering the defamation trial as well, and it's gonna be I actually don't know who's gonna come out on top. Of course, so far the Court of Public Opinion looks like they've been for Johnny. I'm not entirely too sure who has the most support when it comes down to the Court of Public Opinion. I'm not gonna say who I think. Mainly because it doesn't really affect me, to be honest with you guys, and it's not my place to say. But honestly, it is a tough one. It is a serious tough one, both out in the court but also out on the track. As you can see, all these beautiful cars making their way through in the scenery here at Jeddah. You just love to see it here. As the Alfa Romeo makes his way past, now the McLaren, then comes up the Haas, then, like, you can actually see how far they are actually as they make their way through, as we now return back to the front of the grid. And you can actually see now that Liam is starting to warm up those set of tires. Liam needs to pull away from Cameron. Cameron Poulter has been the only driver out there on the track to actually give Liam a run for his money of the race lead. So this could end catastrophically for Liam, but he's going to be keeping his head down, keeping focus, and trying to come out on top of this race. But let's see if he can actually do it at the end of the day, as there's only a, we're actually coming down to the halfway point of the race as well, ladies and gentlemen. And I do gotta say, if you guys have been enjoying the content, please make your way down, hit that follow button if you are new. And if you guys are enjoying it as well, please hit that notification bell on, as here in Smoking Pirelli's for the end of the season will be streamed here on Twitch, and then will be followed back up on YouTube. So if you guys want to see everything unfold until the end of the season, who will be crowned king or queen of Smoking Pirelli's, please reach out and hit that notification bell and the follow as well. As the latest time we've actually had a follower was actually 7 days ago by Cameron Poulter, who is currently in P2, and we also had Louise F276 who was actually here earlier in the week, well, I mean here last week as well. But honestly, some very, very good racing here at Smoking Pirelli's, ladies and gentlemen. Very good racing. Very unfortunate with some of the crashes, as it is close quarters. It's going to make it difficult for the drivers out there to actually give the space. And especially with corners all the way through Sector 1 makes it very difficult. You also have those tricky corners like turn 16 and 17 in Sector 2. And then, of course, in Sector 3, where you have that sharp left-hander of turn 21 and 22 as you make your way down towards turn 27 around the final corner. We're still waiting on race control to say that the safety car will be in this lap. Of course, the driver still making the way around the circuit is going to be the medium runners up front. Skills Dan could be getting a good resurgence in this race on his set of softs. Currently from 8th down to last are on a new set of compounds, and the oldest tires that we're actually seeing out there on the track is actually going to go down to Sharpie with currently 9 lap old set of mediums. Of course, had to make that earlier pit stop due to making a I believe a collision with someone, had front wing damage, and just lost a lot of pace against those front runners. Was actually starting in P3, if I do remember correctly. Started in P2, sorry. Started in P2. Is now down to P5, but ladies and gentlemen, the safety car is now in this lap. Let's see what Liam can do as he comes around the final corner. We'll be waiting for the safety car to enter in. Now we're seeing Cameron seeing the weaving Mercedes right ahead of him as he's waiting for the throttle, and he's going for it now. Liam has chosen his time to go punch the throttle, and Cameron now right on the tail end. We also see a close battle here, 3 wide down towards turn 1, and it's going to be Spillage for the time being to hold on to it, and he does hold on to it, as we also see Atmos had to yield, go off the track limits and give back the position, as we also see Natalie trying to squeeze on the inside here of Reloaded, now around the outside towards the S's, and she's able to get the job done. And you can see how close these drivers are. From first to P15 is separated by just under 7 seconds as they make their way through. We also see Groenfeld now looking on the inside here of Spillage as he's able to make his way now up to P7. We also just saw Sharpie up ahead move his way up to P4 as well. And now the front three is starting to run away with a little bit, as Cameron Poulter and Liam have really found their pace at this track, as we have a little bit of a mishap, and that's going to be Natalie, who has had a little bit of a mistake down towards turn 17 and is able to now go down into P15. Now we see Reloaded and Spillage having themselves a battle. We also see Drunk Pirate getting himself involved, trying to push up the grid on his set of softs, which he does make the move. We're now seeing Cameron dive on the inside here of Liam. Made that job very difficult for Liam, but he's able to hold on to it. Now Shane is looking to get the move, stuck right behind Cameron Poulter looking to go in between. The door is shut, and he's going to have to slot right behind them, too, as they battle out in towards turn 1 and 2. Cameron Poulter on the inside now. Liam with a little bit of oversteer as they make collision, and there goes Shane into the wall after trying to save it. So that is very unfortunate for Shane. They've been in the wrong place at the wrong time, then hit with a 3-second time penalty as cars just drive past him due to the front wing damage. And there goes Gronefeld with a little bit of contact, got a little bit impatient through those corners as he now has front wing damage. Both of the Alfa Romeos will have to make a front wing change in this race. Now back up the grid, Liam, who has had that unfortunate incident with the wall, now is going to be trying to fight against it. You can see that he's struggling on those set of mediums, cannot find the downforce as his front wing has taken a little bit of a hit. And same goes with the side pod of Cameron Poulter, so his pace is starting to ease off a little bit as well. But so far, ladies and gentlemen, we have about 10 laps left around Saudi Arabia. And you gotta say, here at the second longest track on the calendar and the fastest simulated speed track on the calendar as well, clocking in an average of 260 kilometers per hour around the circuit, simulated speed of course as well. As we now see Atmos, he's looking to go around the outside of Reloaded, can't really find the move unless it's on the exit. Still can't find it as we now have a virtual safety car due to the buildup of debris of the collision earlier with Shane, Cameron Poulter, and Liam, as they now get themselves double stacked into the pit lane. And now that's going to be giving Natalie the opportunity to make her way past both of the Alfa Romeos up into P12. We also had Spillage actually going to the pit lane. It looks like he has a broken front wing as well. So now Liam has to respect the Delta. Surprised that he didn't go into the pit lane for a new front wing. Oh, actually no, he couldn't actually. As Gronefeld is hit with a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car coming out of the pit lane, and it's just gone from bad to worse for Gronefeld as he is now driving off. Had himself a little bit of a spin from what it looks like. Lost his front wing once again for Gronefeld as he is struggling to find the traction here. As you can see, we're going to keep an eye on this just to see if he purposely crashes into the wall and purposely DNFs himself. So far able to make his way through without any collisions with the wall. Now we're seeing Sharpie with the DRS getting past Liam and moving up into second place. Skills then is able to make the move as well as Gronefeld crashes around the grandstand of turn 13. Not too sure if that was intentional or not. Of course had a lot of understeer after that loss of front wing, as it now comes to a safety car. So not entirely too sure what happened there with Gronefeld. Very unfortunate for the instance there. And now with another safety car is going to go with any one strategy here. Sharpie could be looking at making his pit stop finally. We could be seeing everyone make their way into the pit lane on a new set of softs to end the race. Not entirely too sure what the game plan is going to be for all of these drivers. We're going to have to wait and see, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to be taking a quick commercial break to just give everyone plenty of time. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be right back after a little bit. So, don't go anywhere. We're going to be hearing from a few commercials. So, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be right back. But if you guys are coming in, it looks like actually the top 5 have not made their way into the pit lane. Sharpie is still out there on those super old set of mediums. We also see Jonesy and Atmos currently out there on their old set of tires. And same goes with Drunk Pirate and Dylan. So a bit of a different strategy here. Drunk Pirate, of course, had to withstand those set of softs as much as he can. He could probably, he believes that, I believe he thinks that he can make those tires last until the end. Of course, going to be trying to get as many points as possible to hold on to the lead of the championship, where his main target of Skills Dan is actually currently down in P10. So we're just going to have to wait and see when the safety car will be coming in and when the lapped cars will catch up with the grid. Well, let's see how these drivers do. I'm actually gonna quickly go back to the verdict watch of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial to see if there's anything. Yeah, so this of course is the second day of deliberations of the case between Depp and Heard about defamation of character due to abuse that was claimed to be not true as well. So just I'm just queuing in just to get myself notified on all of this. Just waiting, as we have just a few more minutes of adverts. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, as we are now here for the safety car restart. And so far it's been a pretty good race. Only around 5 laps, well actually 6 laps will be left once they cross the line. Let's see who's going to be the one to come out on top. Is it going to be the pole sitter of Liam? Will it be Sharpie, who has had a good resurgence in this race? Will be now leading the safety car restart. We also see the 2 Haas's of Jonesy and Atmos, who are trying to make their way up the grid. Of course, Atmos what's called replacing Kobe O'Leary, who has had the leave with with Jeff K as well as VDV, as Cold Steel has actually made the replacement as well. So good to have them in here making their debuts here in Smoke and Pirelli's Tuesday League. And honestly, good to see the drivers make their way around and accept them and encourage them to press on. Atmos looking very nicely currently in P3, looking to end it here, or if not in a better position. His teammate of Jonesy currently on a time penalty. And let's actually see the time penalties actually. Everyone with 3 seconds who have time penalties. Of Jonesy, Reloaded, as well as Shane and Spillage, where the safety car is now in the pit lane. Sharpie can go whenever he feels, and he's going to go now just before the timing line, as we now see Cameron Poulter move onto the inside of Drunk Pirate. Same goes with Liam making the move. Drunk Pirate just got caught off guard on his old set of softs. We also see in the near back of Dylan making his way past Shane, now making his way past Landscape King. I believe had a little bit of contact through those corners. We can now move our way back up the grid with Cameron Poulter, who is now looking right on the tail end of Atmos. Cameron Poulter just on another level here today at Saudi Arabia, as he is now looking around the outside up towards turn 14 now with 15 and 16. Can he solidify the move? Gonna take a little bit of a wider line, of course, cuts the corner a little bit, and he makes the job done. I'm pretty sure that could go down as an illegal overtake, and he might have to yield. Atmos and Liam now having themselves a good battle as they make their way up the grid towards turn 22. Little bit of contact actually between the two drivers as Liam is making his way up to P4. Drunk Pirate now down up to P5 as well. Atmos now right next to his BGR friend of Cold Steel as them two go side to side. We also see Reloaded trying to squeeze on the inside here of Cold Steel on his set of softs, and he's able to get the job done. Skills Dan as well making the move, and Natalie as well being held up by her teammate as he yields and gives her the space. Now back up the grid a little bit where we actually see just up ahead of them Reloaded and Skills Dan still having themselves a good battle. Little bit of tire bumping through the corner, and that's going to be solidifying Skills Dan the move. Natalie is going to now go around the outside potentially. Couldn't find the space there, as we now also see Cameron Poulter right on the tail end of Sharpie for second place. Potentially at the end will be first place once the time penalties will be applied. DRS still not yet being enabled as it's coming down towards the final few laps of the race. A little bit of contact there between Cameron Poulter and Sharpie as Cameron Poulter tries to pull the switchback. A little bit of contact, maybe looking at front wing damage, but from what it looks like, he has a good one, and there goes Sharpie into the wall due to that contact, and Sharpie is now completely out. Now we'll be down in P13, unlucky 13 for Sharpie as Cameron makes his way up. I think that collision is going to go down with the Stewarts as Liam is now chasing the Ferrari in the beautiful night sky here at Saudi Arabia, here at the Corniche circuit in Jeddah. Honestly, beautiful to see. Beautiful scenery as well, even though being a man-made islands. Honestly, so beautiful to see. As the DRS has now been enabled, Liam is looking on the inside. Is he going to stick his nose in? He is going to now, as Cameron and Liam battle it out through turn 2, now up towards turn 3 and 4. Liam has the lead a little bit of that battle, and he makes it clear on the inside. And now Drunk Pirate going to be chasing down Cameron Poulter as well. Josie still in the lead with 3 seconds. Cameron Poulter is hit with a 3-second time penalty as well, and that's going to ruin his race here today. Wow. Wow. And now look at Natalie as well, trying to get her way past Skills Dan after losing the position a few laps prior. Dylan was trying to get this move on Cold Steel, but Cold Steel shuts the door on Dylan. Now Liam has the provisional lead of this race once the time penalties will be applied. So far it's been an extraordinary race all around. Natalie still right on the tail end of Skills Dan coming up towards turn 22. And Cameron Poulter has just disconnected and has left the session as he now falls down past Drunk Pirate, past Atmos, and then Reloaded. As now Skills Dan defends on the inside of Natalie. Natalie still trying to find the best line to get the job done. Still struggling. But Liam now with the DRS has lost all of his ERS, trying to make the job done as he now takes the lead of this race. Right behind him we have a three-way battle. A little bit of contact with Skills Dan as Drunk Pirate spins off, both of the protagonists battling it out for the Drivers' Championship. Skills Dan completely hits the inside on Drunk Pirate and makes him now move down to P10. That could be an incident with the stewards that could be giving Skills Dan some penalty points because of that, as that was a little bit dirty there. Didn't give enough space to his Drunk Pirate, as he also had Reloaded on the inside. Gonna have to check the instant replays for that one at the end of this race. So the points finishes could actually change before the end of this race, where we now see Cameron still yet to rejoin and still struggling. Wow, very unfortunate here for some of the drivers as they are battling out for trophies, battling out for the points, as we now have 3 laps left in this race. So again, guys, if you guys have enjoyed this race, this is definitely going to be one to remember. Could be the race of the season, in my opinion, as it's been such an extraordinary event. As Liam has had an extraordinary race, Skills Dan, despite the contact with Drunk Pirate, has had a good race. Same goes with a lot of people from P1 to P16 at the beginning of the race, with qualifying was separated by just under a second. We also had the most beautiful starts of a Grand Prix in Smoker Pirellis that I have ever seen personally. And honestly, I cannot wait to see who comes out on top. 2 laps left here at Saudi Arabia as Reloaded goes through turn 5 and is able to move up to P4. Still with that time penalty. Atmos has actually just gotten himself the fastest lap of the race. We'll be begging in an extra point for the Haas team, as he is doing very well for his debut here on the Tuesday League Division, as we also see Drunk Pirate and Landscape go into the pit lane. Gonna be going potentially with a new front wing, especially Drunk Pirate after that hit from Skills Dan. Still not entirely too sure if that's going to go down with the stewards at all. We're going to have to wait and see, as Shane is looking on the tail end of Natalie. The blinking red lights solidify that Shane is going to be going for a move potentially here, as he actually doesn't have a good entrance here. We'll be going on the ERS a little bit, as we also see Reloaded move on the inside of Atmos as they go side to side. We also see Liam and Jonesy, and look at Reloaded trying to stick his nose in just in time, but couldn't really do it. That would have been very, very ambitious. Natalie trying to defend off against Shane, and now Dylan as well. And now with Liam making that early overtake, now going to fall down behind Atmos. And this is exactly what the Haas team needed. Atmos moving up into P2, provisional P1 once the time penalties are going to be served. And on the final lap, the perfect time to do it, as he breaks a little bit, goes into the wall. Commentators curse here, ladies and gentlemen, as he now rejoins with no front wing right ahead of Spillage. So it's going to be a very tough final lap, as we now see both of the Mercedes drivers having themselves a good little scrap, as Liam is going to be moving out the way to give Skills Dan the opportunity to get the move. He's going on the inside. Liam now closes the door on Cold Steel, and Skills Dan now moves up into P3, provisional race winner. And that could be a good strategy there, but it could actually be faulted if there's a time penalty with the collision between Skills Dan and Drunk Pirate, who are, again, ladies and gentlemen, both battling out for the Drivers' Championship, where the Drivers' Championship is actually has been separated by 74 points as well. So it's not going to be... It's going to be a massive hit, as the race winner will be getting 50 points in this race. And where Drunk Pirate is, it's not going to be that many points for him in P11. P11 would actually get 14 points to their name, as Cold Steel spins around the final corner. Shane gets hit, but now Reloaded is going to cross the line first, but it's going to be a Mercedes 1-2 here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as Skills Dan, for the time being, has the race win here at Smokin' Pirellis, with Liam closing off second place. Started in pole position, had a few mishaps with the strategy, was battling out with Crammon Poulter, who is now down in P12 due to the disconnect. Drunk Pirate is going to be closing off in P11. He's going to continue his search for a Drivers' Championship, but it could go down to the final few laps, but that's going to be an incident that's going to be remembered for a long time, and it could be a little bit iffy in a way. Could be a little bit iffy. We're going to have to check with the stewards, check with everyone, but with Landscape crossing the lines for the time being, Skills Dan will be taking the top step of the podium. And what an extraordinary race that we have just witnessed, ladies and gentlemen, here in Smoking Pirellis. Well done to everyone across the board. A very successful event. Extraordinary, truly extraordinary. But as that's going to be ending the commentary, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Again, we'll be here next week for the Bahrain Grand Prix on the 7th of June, so cue into that, and we'll be having the season finale at Zandvoort at the Dutch Grand Prix. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have enjoyed, and we'll see you next week for round 9.